On June 23, 2005, 2 years ago today, the Supreme Court ruled Peale versus City of Connecticut. It's okay for local government to take your property for essentially anyone. After the decision, local governments, including those in Virginia, were given free rein to continue to shopping mall or whatever, simply because they generate more in taxes or some spurious public purpose argument. This case is the most controversial widely tested decisions in the Supreme Court. Why did the Virginia Assembly take such a long time to enact even the most basic reform? Opinion polls show that 80-90% of Americans feel eminent domain abuse is wrong, but in the 2006 General Assembly, the Virginia Assembly did not do anything. It was only willing to pass a bill that would let loopholes for developer use government to take your home. In 2006, according to Institute for Justice, Virginia was one of only 11 states that had not enacted any reform for the decision. It wasn't until the 2007 election year session of the Virginia General Assembly that any meaningful reform was enacted in Virginia. Two identical bills enacted in the Assembly. One was a standard bill that could take effect immediately, and the second amendment to the Virginia Constitution. Because passing an amendment to the Constitution takes several years, property rights advocates pushed to have both passed so that there will be permanent protections in the Virginia Constitution and temporary protection passed to cover this years. However, the Virginia General Assembly chose to only pass the temporary protections and deny the voters of Virginia an opportunity to vote on a constitutional amendment often more permanent. To me, this shows why our elected legislators. I'm not sure since the General Assembly to leave those proper protections. I fear that our legislators will wait until we think the issue has been solved and we're no longer paying attention when it may, and they will back in. That I feel so compassionate to the Virginia Constitution. Reform of eminent domain in Virginia should not stop there, however. Even if you're faced with legitimate use of eminent domain, such as having your property taken to accommodate a road, Virginia law still offers little protection. As a property owner, you go to court with local government and fight the amount of money they offered you. But all the in their favor. You're unlikely to recoup your court costs of fighting the condemnation. Debtors can lowball you when with eminent domain. For example, your property is $100,000. Local governments bulldoze it to build a road or school, and they offer you $75,000. No, it's worth more. So you threaten to go to court to demand the just compensation guaranteed to you by the U.S. Bill of Rights. However, your legal costs are very likely to exceed the $25,000 difference between the value of your property and what they offered you. So even if you win your case, you're unlikely to be made whole. And if you lose, you may end up losing even more money. Condemners know this, and so they will intentionally offer you low prices for your property, hoping you will be intimidated from fighting them in court. Even if eminent domain is necessary, you should not have to live with the fear and stress of government ripping you off. The just compensation clause of the Bill of Rights means just that, and I will work to change the law to ensure you are compensated fairly. With me today are two residents of the 24th District who have faced the fear of losing their property. I'm pleased to say that in both of their cases, eminent domain has not been used, although there is no reason that could not change in the future. But in both situations, they have been left at the whim of decisions by public officials, and I think it's fair to say they both have felt a great deal of anxiety about their futures in this community. A year ago today, Linda Peale and her husband Ronnie had reason to fear that their home would soon be swallowed up by a proposed megasite in Augusta County. The Peales live near the airport in Weyers Cave, and their property is surrounded by land that would have been most likely used for the megasite. Discussions of the site were only made public with some hesitation, and the Peales were not able to get much information from Augusta County about possible plans for their property. Fortunately for them, the megasite issue has gone away for the time being. Had it proceeded, it seemed clear they would have faced a very difficult decision of whether to sell a home that they value very highly and want to stay in, or if their property would have to be seized. Given the size of the proposed project, eminent domain Peales or others in similar situations would have almost certainly been used. Gerard Labrecque lives in Staunton and is a contractor. He purchased a home in the Newtown area of Staunton and planned to invest his own time and money to repair it and then rent it out as a duplex, providing affordable housing to two area families in a part of the city that could probably use more affordable housing in good repair. This sounds like exactly what the city should want, but they have flirted with larger plans for the area involving a federal grant. After offering Gerard a very low price for his property, less even than he has invested in it, they threatened to seize it through eminent domain if he did not comply. This became the subject of many news stories in the area and a sort of great angst to the Labrecque family. At this point in time, Gerard and the city are working on more mutually acceptable outcomes. Now I'd like to ask Gerard Labrecque and then Linda Peale if they have any comments they would like to add about their experiences, and then we can open up if we have any questions. Thank you for taking the time to be here today. Gerard, do you have anything that you'd like to say or add? Feel free to come on up here.
As a businessman, I'm always looking for good deals. And to me, when I look at my exchanges with the city, you talk about a good deal when basically the rules of eminent domain are they decide that they want something because they think it's for the greater public good in their opinion. They account to nobody for what that means. How will this be to the greater good? And then basically they have unbelievable power and influence to take what they want. And in a bit, if I could do that in business, I'd be a billionaire by now. But of course, we're talking about civil servants who represent me, who take my tax money to serve me, taking my property, and they've taken far more than my property. We've been really beat up on many fronts, and it's not been made right, and it won't be made right until this evil called eminent domain is reformed. And Arin Sime has been a key person, the key person in saving my property. And I hope that this man is elected and people rally behind the fact that our once great country is not what it used to be, and we need to take it back. So I commend him to you. He knows this issue. He's very effective. He's very knowledgeable, and I'm grateful to him for what he's done for me.
Thank you, Gerard. Appreciate your kind words. Linda, do you have anything you want to add?
I'd like you to try. Hi, my name's Linda Peale. I live in Weyers Cave. Our 1.77 acres is in the proposed mega site. It's home to us, been home to us for 23 years. It has a house that was built in 1844, not the newest of houses, and it's home to us. The eminent domain, as the property surrounding us got sold, and we were left not being sold, we wondered what our outcome would be. And it was scary. We didn't know where to turn. I didn't know about eminent domain other than a word of some property that got taken to New York. And I really didn't know. And I started searching the internet. That's how I came across Arin Sime. He called me up, and I was scared. I was scared we'd lose our home. And what we were offered was not enough to start again, not at my age. And Arin walked me through what we could do, how to be strong, and I appreciate that. And that's why I stand behind him. He is for the people. He was for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. With that, I'd just like to thank you all again for being here, for your interest in this issue, for your interest in my campaign, and thank you very much to Gerard and to Linda and their families for the struggles that they have gone through in being afraid for their property, their home, and I'm thankful that it's never happened to me yet, but the important point of this is that it could happen to anybody. They certainly didn't expect it to happen to them. We certainly don't expect that sort of thing to happen in Virginia, which is in many ways, I think, really the cradle of liberty in the United States, and yet we allow these sorts of things to happen here. And so I take personal strength from seeing people such as Gerard and Linda and others stand up for their property rights and be willing to say that it's their home and it's their decision whether or not they should sell it.